Cinema Worms.
Discussing everything from Grima Wormtongue to the Shy Halud.
I'm Sabib.
And I'm Linz.
And this is Cinema Worms Podcast.
We just came out of The Roses and had a lovely little midday viewing. There was only 5 of us in there in one of the big cinemas. It was lovely. So, The Roses, written by Tony McNamara, who co-wrote one of my favourite films of 2018 and perhaps all time, The Favourite, as well as 2023's Poor Things, and he worked on the TV show The Great as well.
Of course.
Yeah, which is also fantastic. So good track record there. And it was directed by Jay Roach, who surprisingly to me made the Austin Powers trilogy and Meet the Parents, amongst other films, including quite a few political things like Recount and 2019's The Bombshell. Now, The Roses is based on the 1981 book The War of the Roses, which by Warren Adler, which of course is referencing like the famous English historical feuding houses, but this was actually already made into a film in 1989. This version is significantly different. It is very much played for laughs, with Benedict Cumberbatch's ambitious architect Theo finding himself suddenly thrust into the role of stay-at-home dad to 2 children, while Olivia Colman's chef Ivy has equally sudden success with her restaurant business, which is a very funny name that I enjoyed. This version of the film is a very dark satire. It has some really genuinely funny moments of physical and verbal comedy, but it is not, to me anyway, necessarily an easy watch. Cumberbatch and Coleman are both excellent actors. I really enjoy them in other things. They bounce off each other here perfectly. He is tightly wound and jealous and sort of rigid. She is a bit immature and flighty, and she doesn't take things seriously even when the situation really calls for it. And the resulting marital storm, if I can make a pun about something that happens in it, is a veritable tempest. What did you think of this film?
Yeah, it's a really entertaining ride, and I agree with everything you said. Like, the characterization is really spot on in that they're not caricatures and they're not just sort of over-the-top depictions of some archetype or other. They're really interesting characters to watch who seem to have love for each other, who have their passions, right? Who are actually like kind of likable in their flaws, at least initially. And then I think the film, surprisingly, like I think for the trailer, we were not sure how it was going to go, if it was going to be really over the top and sort of in primary colors. But it's quite funny while also being psychologically astute, and it does take its time for shit to hit the fan.
Yes.
But you can see the seeds of like resentment, of their flaws and their unwillingness to say sorry. It's just great to watch like really deeply flawed characters be selfish and screw themselves over. Like, oh, you're gonna do it.
Which they do multiple times. Yeah, and you're like, oh man, you shouldn't say, oh, you said it. You shouldn't do that thing. Oh, you did it. Aww. And you know what? That's a really good point, because I did say right before we went in, I said I'm worried about this film because the trailer had showed enough kind of funny moments that I was really worried that it was showing only the funny moments and that this was going to be a bit of a flop. But in fact, I was completely wrong, and I take that back. There were plenty of really funny things that I feel like a lot of trailers these days spoil things, or they really try and kind of cherry pick all the good bits, but then you've seen all the good bits already in a sort of 60-second trailer, and then sitting through the film is in just a snooze fest. That didn't happen here, and that's quite rare, I think, nowadays. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really fun. Do you agree with me that it was not necessarily an easy watch? There was a lot of very tense, like, conversations or dinner parties or whatever where everybody's fucking sniping each other, and I was like, oh no.
There was a dinner party scene that's really awkward, and I was like, I was looking away during the moments. I was looking away during moments of cringe.
The cringe was like, it made me feel physically uncomfortable at times, which is a good sense that, hey, you're in this. You almost feel like you're there as well. And you're right, these characters do feel very fleshed out. Of course, this is a huge cast. We didn't even mention how that every 2 seconds you're like, oh look, it's this guy. Oh look, it's that lady. Oh, it's from someone else. Like Andy Samberg. Oh, my bae Andy Samberg.
Yeah, we were just saying, the man doth groweth handsome, handsomer.
Excuse me, Andy Samberg has always been handsome, but he has aged like a fine wine.
Yes.
Andy Samberg, call me. And Kate McKinnon, who can also call me because I want to hang out with her.
She was so funny and so just funny. Bizarre.
Kate McKinnon I've never seen her be normal in any film. Yeah. I'm not sure she can be. I think that's her whole shtick. I miss seeing her. I think she was great in Barbie as well. But yeah, they as acting as their kind of neighbors to the Roses, who are a couple, they bring a nice bit of kind of levity to what otherwise can get quite intense between Coleman and Cumberbatch.
The two great actors that absolutely pulled this off. They were great. The end, like the very, very end, which I'm not going to spoil.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't quite work for me, just how I was enjoying how I went off the deep end, but then how they sort of, the very final moments.
Yeah.
I
knew you weren't gonna like that.
Because it's just too neat. You know, in a film, and I think I might mention some of that with talking about caught stealing.
I also have in my notes at the end. I do not like. Yeah,
it's like too neat. Like, okay, there's enough realism here where you could actually sit with the characters in a different way. Instead, you're just like, oh, look, see, I brought it all together in this way, and it's just a cop out for me because I was not interested in that.
Okay, and I see that, and that is a really valid point. However, I would argue that the ending is a perfect encapsulated example of them coming together in a volatile way that doesn't work, because it is something about her that causes this to happen, but it is also the way that he has created something as well, and both of those things together are not compatible in this way, and that is kind of why the ending happens. So
I agree.
Yeah,
it's definitely one way of showing it.
Yes, I mean that's the charitable interpretation.
No, I agree with you. Yeah. So
critics' reviews have been pretty mixed about this film. I can sort of see why, but at the same time, I really quite liked it. I had a lot of fun. It was a fun film, you know.
Yeah, recommend it and let us know your thoughts. I thought it was really entertaining to watch.
Definitely a popcorn film.
Yeah.
But, like, share your popcorn lest you come off like one of these characters.
So it's nice to pair the Roses with our discussion of Caught Stealing, which is another hilarious and much more violent film. So this is a crime thriller produced and directed by Darren Aronofsky. So I can't remember the last film he's done that I've seen. Maybe I should have looked that up, but maybe last thing I'm remembering is Mother. Oh, yeah. Anyway, it's also from a screenplay by Charlie Huston, who is a sort of renowned writer, writes comic books, all of that. And
he did The Whale. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah,
The Whale. Did you see The Whale?
I never saw The Whale.
It was pretty good.
Y'all, I need to see The Whale. Mm-hmm. That is an interesting variety of films. Okay.
So I've actually enjoyed, like, all the things that I've seen of his. I've quite enjoyed them. I'm yet to see Mother.
I haven't seen it. But
I have. Yeah, I mean, The Whale is, because I saw Black Swan really late. I keep thinking, like, oh, Black Swan is always being held up as this, that's what Aronofsky does. And I'm like, but I haven't seen anything else that he's done that even remotely felt like that. Actually, I didn't like Black Swan very much. I liked everything else a lot more. Anyway.
Well, this film stars Austin Butler, Regina King, Zoe Kravitz, Matt Smith, Liev Schreiber, Vincent D'Onofrio, Benito Martinez Ocasio, otherwise known as Bad Bunny, Carol Kane, loads of others. But those are the main sort of stacked cast. And the score was recorded by the band Idols. So this is basically a film set in New York City in 1998. So being very familiar with New York, but a New York, post 2011, this was fun to see New York in its, like, especially like Lower East Side, final vestiges before full gentrification and a new version of New York post Giuliani. So we follow this burned out, We follow this burned out ex-basketball player. Sorry, baseball. That's very important. Baseball is like central to the film.
I was like, what?
I just misspoke. Hank Thompson. And he basically is a bartender. He's living in the Lower East Side. He also drinks way too much. He's a suave, gritty, yet still very pretty Austin Butler, living in his crappy apartment. He has this hot, almost girlfriend, Zoe Kravitz, and he's living out this life sort of on default mode, right? He had this shattered dream of being a baseball star and was this close to it. But we learned pretty effectively that from his obsession with the Giants and then a scar we glimpse on his knee, that dream was shattered. When his outlandish neighbor was like a punk Englishman, Russ, played by Matt Smith, with a ridiculous... What's the accent? Is that Cockney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very Cockney.
Yeah, it's like a joke. He jets off to see his dying dad, and he leaves his cat with Hank. And Hank is stopping by Russ's apartment, trying to take care of this adorable kitty, when 2 Russian gangsters show up and beat the shit out of him because he sort of like was like, why are you here, Russian gangsters?
Yeah, they think that he knows where Russ is, and he's like, it's none of your business.
Yeah.
Because he's just that kind of guy. He's not going to tell them straight away. And then, they full on put him in the hospital. Fun times.
Yeah, we won't spoil it, but he got messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And then from then on, it's just a bone-crunching, rough and ready, energetic tumble into chaos, violence, and Hank's past traumas as he gets embroiled in a ridiculous web of crime bosses.
Spoiler!
All while not having actually been involved in it.
That's a spoiler.
Is it?
Anyway.
So what are your thoughts on this film?
I kind of enjoyed it, actually. This was the version of Austin Butler that I expected to get and didn't in 2023's The Bike Riders. I feel like I would have understood that film more and that character if he had been this character during that film. Or maybe he's just grown for me. It just felt like in that film he was supposed to be like this particular kind of guy, but he just kind of wasn't. He was too pretty boy, and he really bulked up for caught stealing. I've seen all over Instagram his like workout videos and stuff. I enjoy being mildly stressed the whole time in a film. This was definitely one of those films. It's exactly what I want from a violent crime thriller. It feels very chaotic. It's unexpectedly funny, as you said. Everything, for me, okay, so if we compare this to The Roses, where you felt that everything came full circle a bit too neatly, for me, Caught Stealing came full circle too neatly. I felt the ending was really gift-wrapped and hand-delivered with a bow on top. But you know what? I thought the rest of it was pretty good. I recognise that I cannot have everything. It's a rare film that you get everything that you want. I will accept this as, you know what? It was pretty good. I enjoyed watching it. That was fun.
Yeah, it's a very stylish, while also gritty film. It has this old school cool, especially like in those beginning scenes where you see him in New York, then with Zoe Kravitz. Mm-hmm. It's just like they're in the city. They're living that real life. And then there's some characters just coming in and out of their orbit. And I thought Austin Butler was great. Chef's kiss. Mm-hmm. He did bring a lot to the role, extra that kind of added pathos and stakes. So he was just really good. He's still a pretty boy.
He is, but he does, for me, he's getting better every time I see him. Every film, I'm liking him a bit more. And I did kind of, fair enough. I did write him off as a pretty boy before, who I was like, are you going to coast on your looks? But he has really improved. He's been really good.
I think what was helpful is that he was funny as well. Mm-hmm. And it was very like physical role. I prefer the bike ride. Not that we can compare the Bike Riders to this. That's more my kind of film, and it worked for me better. And that's because maybe vibe, it's much more like indie and like sort of go with the flow.
It's more emotional.
Plotting. And it's more emotional, yeah. It's more grounded, while this is more like stylized violence. The thing is, there's a certain point, which I can't spoil, where the film turns. Mm-hmm. I think you know.
Yeah.
And it goes more of a violent, fatalistic direction and just sort of tumbles in this downward spiral for the rest of the film. And I do like a violent film. I don't mind a film where lots of people die. Like, I like Quentin Tarantino films, which is every film he does. But for me, it's kind of where I was like, the movie was really exciting and fun to watch, and it's just the pacing is on point, but it's less engaging and interesting for me as a whole when I'm done the film and I'm walking away, in that it took that direction of like, it's just about like crazy stuff happening and then it ties up with a neat end, like bow.
Yeah. I mean, is it too much of a spoiler to say that the kitty's okay?
Yes, the kitty encounters some peril, but ultimately lives, which is, I suppose, the most acceptable and only acceptable outcome.
It is the only acceptable. I would have severely downgraded this film if the cat had come to an untimely demise. I would have been pretty mad about it. Also, Matt Smith was pretty funny as well. He's not in it that long, but like when he is there, he's really stealing the scene as this horrible Cockney gangster that's like mixed in with these with types that he is very afraid of and therefore probably won't double cross, but like you get the sense from him that he is an opportunistic little bastard anyway, so that if he ever saw an opportunity to screw someone over, yeah, he probably would do it.
Yes, indeed.
So excellent work from Matt Smith. A very far cry from his role as the Doctor